South Florida football hoping to crash college football playoff party. The Boise State Broncos, long the king of the group of 5 schools, could be on the cusp of ceding the throne to the team that just beat them. Alex Golesh has been quietly building South Florida since 2023, when he took over a program that had won a total of 15 games over 5 years. He put together back-to-back 7-6 seasons that ended with bowl wins and will go into Saturday's game at number 13 Florida with a dynamic quarterback in Byrum Brown, a retooled defense, and the boost of confidence that comes with last week's 34-7 win over then No. 25 Boise State. The Broncos were a trendy preseason pick to earn the college football playoff spot that goes to the highest-ranked G5 conference champion for a second straight year. With USF playing 3 straight ranked opponents to start the season, the Bulls are working to build credibility with the selection committee. So far, so good. And they can keep helping themselves by keeping it close against the Gators or upsetting them and doing the same next week at number 5 Miami. The Hurricanes are among a number of heavily favored ranked teams playing FCS teams this week. So here are the picks for this week's FBS versus FBS games, with Associated Press top 25 rankings and lines from BetMGM Sportsbook. Florida International, plus 41.5, at number 2 Penn State. When you get points on the first 9 possessions, like the Nittany Lions did against Nevada, it's hard to find areas that need cleaning up. If there's one thing Penn State would like to see, it's more production from the run game this week. Pick Penn State 45-7. Louisiana Tech at number 3 LSU, minus 37.5. This game falls between Clemson and Florida on the schedule, but it's no trap. The Garrett Nussmeier-led offense got traction in the second half against Clemson, and Harold Perkins Jr. and Whit Weeks lead a defense that could be the nation's best. Pick LSU 52-3. Oklahoma State at number 6 Oregon, minus 28.5. Since Oregon outspends Oklahoma State $40 million to $7 million in NIL, by Cowboys coach Mike Gundy's estimation, let's go with that on the scoreboard this week. Pick Oregon 40-7. San Jose State at number 7 Texas, minus 36.5. The feeling here is the Longhorns will take out some frustration on the Spartans after what happened at Ohio State. Arch Manning should make strides over the next 3 games and have Texas contending in the SEC as expected. Pick Texas 47-3. Troy at number 8 Clemson, minus 33.5. The last time the Trojans went to Death Valley, in 2016, they put a scare into a second-ranked Clemson and lost 30-24. It won't be that close this time. Cade Klubnik and the Tigers get well after being held to 10 points by LSU. Pick Clemson 44-6. Number 11 Illinois, minus 3, at Duke. This should be the best of Brett Bielema's 5 teams, and the Illini are a bit under the radar for a team that has its highest ranking since 2001. Duke tussled with Elon into the middle of the third quarter last week. Pick Illinois 31-21. Number 12 Arizona State at Mississippi State, plus 6.5. Arizona State coach Kenny Dillingham talked this week about the challenges of traveling to Starkville, and he blared ringing cowbells through loudspeakers at practice to prepare his players for what awaits. Seems like a good time for Bulldogs to beat a top 15 team for the first time in 4 years. Pick Mississippi State 28-24. South Florida, plus 17.5, at number 13 Florida. Gators came out of last season on a roll and kept it going with a 55-0 shutout against an overmatched Long Island U. The Bulls raised eyebrows with their beatdown of Boise State. Pick Florida 35-27. Number 15 Michigan at number 18 Oklahoma, minus 5.5. These are 2 proud programs looking to get their mojo back. QB Bryce Underwood is a game changer, but beating the Sooners in Norman at night might be a little too much to ask at the moment. Pick Oklahoma 28-21. Iowa at number 16 Iowa State, minus 3. Perhaps Iowa State QB Rocco Becht isn't talked about enough nationally. He got the Cyclones to the Big 12 championship game last year and, judging by his start, he just might do it again. Pick Iowa State 24-17. Baylor, plus 2.5, at number 17 SMU. The Bears' Sawyer Robertson threw for more than 400 yards and 3 touchdowns in a loss to Auburn last week. SMU has averaged 48.3 points per game while winning 15 of their last 16 at home. Pick Baylor 45-43. Utah State at number 19 Texas A&M, minus 31.5. The Aggies are coming off a ho-hum win over UTSA in which they allowed 203 yards rushing, the most by a group of 5 opponents since 2021. Pick Texas A&M 47-9. Number 20 Mississippi, -10, at Kentucky. Rebels are still smarting from last year's 20-17 home loss to Kentucky that, in part, kept them out of the CFP. They tuned up for the trip to Lexington with a 63-7 win over Georgia State that made them the first SEC team to score at least 60 in 3 straight season openers. Pick: Mississippi 33-21. Louisiana Monroe at number 21 Alabama, -37.5. It's bounce-back week for Kalen DeBoer's team. The Crimson Tide got outplayed in the trenches by Florida State last week and at times looked almost apathetic. With a trip to Georgia at the end of the month, DeBoer needs to create some urgency now. Pick: Alabama 49-10. Kennesaw State, +35.5, at number 23 Indiana. Hoosiers totaled 502 yards, 309 on the ground, yet won just 27-14 over Old Dominion. They got into the red zone 7 times and scored just 2 touchdowns. That undoubtedly is this week's point of emphasis. Pick: Indiana 35-7. Kent State at number 24 Texas Tech, -48.5. Texas Tech has scored at least 50 points in 3 straight games with Byrum Brown starting at quarterback. Kent State has allowed 41.4 points per game against FBS opponents since 2023, the worst mark in the nation. Pick: Texas Tech 62-10. AP Predictions Scorecard. Last week, straight up, 10-3, against spread, 5-8. Season, straight up, 10-3, against spread, 5-8.